Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast with your hosts, Akainu Fanboy and Geboss, and today we're going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 1046, chapter name, Raizo. And so also, please like the video, subscribe, and we're going to be starting today's review. So first we have a continuation of the Vinsmoke Pudding Chocolate cover story. So it's kind of interesting. So for whatever reason, he's not making it explicitly clear who these people are. The people clearly recognize them, either someone they know or as threats. So I think since the Vinsmokes, I'm trying to think. Were they fought in Chocolate Town, correct? At the end of Whole Cake, if I remember correctly.
Maybe. It's been a while since I've reviewed it, but I would say these people are they're a threat because people are running away from them. And
so it's possible it's like Ichiji Reiju, right?
I think it's going to be another force. I think it's going to be someone else. I don't know exactly who. That's just my guess, because I know Oda likes to throw in new stuff in this, but
Blackbeard Pirates.
I mean, it could be, but I mean, to me, it looks like the one on the right is a guy, and the one on the left is a girl. Just the one on the left solely because of the way the cuff is on the leg. It's more form-fitting.
Yeah, and well, at least explicitly, they're not wearing the Germa suits if they are in fact Germa. They don't have like the crazy
the
jet repulsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not there. So it's interesting. Oda's still teasing this out more, and I'm curious to see what's resolved here. And we know Oven just left recently, I think 2 weeks ago, with the cover story. So he's not in the area right now. But but it is interesting though. The Vinsmoke brothers aren't being held here right now. They are being held on near the Whole Cake Chateau. The Pudding's not next to them right now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so they're kind of dividing it up. So this cover story might be a little longer than we anticipated. So I'm curious to see what happens there. But so we started off and we're back up on the good old rooftop. And what are your initial thoughts before we're left off in this fight?
I think it's interesting that Luffy's still... I don't think Luffy's even aware what's going on with his powers right now. Because he's still like... What do you think I should call that last attack? Gum what? So he's still using the gum terminology. So I don't know if someone's going to have to explain his powers to him, or if he just thinks about this as like another gear.
Yeah, it's just kind of a learning experience, just slowly learning everything. And we do see some scuffs and wounds on him. So that was kind of something I was talking about in the previous chapter. It's difficult really in Gear 5 to talk about if he's really in pain or not, because he's always smiling or some cartoon thing is happening. But so I do appreciate Oda showing some heavy wounds a little bit, just some scratches on him. So he just restates his identity is to become king of the pirates. So it's interesting, that's still his main goal, even though he's in Joy Boy form. Maybe you could say Joy Boy and King of the Pirates is the same thing.
Well, I was gonna say that this kind of shows that it's definitely not sort of a possession, for sure. Because Kaido asks, "Who are you?" and it's Luffy. He says he's Luffy, and he says he's gonna be king of the pirates like he always does. So.
Yeah, so his fruit's not primarily his identity, at the end of the day. I guess is another way of looking at it, or even this Joy Boy stuff, because Luffy said, I'm not a hero, right? I just kind of want to do my thing. And so his primary identity is here, despite of what significance may happen with Joy Boy as a prophecy later on. And Kaido is really I'm glad you still have sass. And awakening is what happens when you catch your mind and body catch up to your powers. So in a sense, this is like a culmination of Luffy's personality still, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, like you said, it's not him getting possessed. Him being awakened is kind of like the fullness of who he's supposed to be, and he still sees himself as Luffy, you know?
Yeah. And it looks like you can even people who are like really strong, it's more about you can train your powers, but your mind and your body has to match that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
Like we
no,
never,
exactly.
we never knew what an awakening took for people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're not even sure like if like not even Big Mom's been confirmed to be an awakened user yet.
Right.
So
and it seems like Kaido's awakened just because he's explaining this, you know. And like with Doflamingo's awakening, obviously he got to that point too. And it's interesting. I guess you could say if an awakening is a manifestation of one's personality, when he starts destroying like all the abilities with his string fruit and everything, you know. Like that's kind of Doflamingo's personality at the end of the day. It's just destruction, you know. But Luffy's is kind of more of this comical, laughing type of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that? I was just thinking about this because the other couple people that we have are like in this arc are Law and Kid, and I don't know necessarily about Kid, but maybe with Law we can look at it. Like when we think about your mind and body, he had to overcome, like Doflamingo had to be defeated for him to like evolve in his next set of powers because he was hung up on it.
Yeah, and you could say Doflamingo brought him to like a really new level of strength too. Just like he was using everything he got to take him down.
Yeah. So that might kind of explain why he didn't use an awakening at Dressrosa.
Yeah, and if I didn't want to be a smartass with Kid, I would say that he did get his arm taken off, and he did see his best friend turned into a Smile user.
Yeah.
The dud. So there is, even though Oda didn't really extrapolate on that as much, he still, you know, he still have those details in for those characters. It's kind of interesting getting into this whole dimension of characters and motivation. This is kind of the first time Kaido's like kind of sad he's losing what he's building this whole time, because it doesn't seem like he cares about it because he's so cavalier with all this stuff, whether it's he doesn't really show regret for his followers getting taken out or all this shit getting destroyed, you know. So this is like the first time he's expressed like disappointment on that front. So, you know, and then after that we obviously get more of the fight. I'm not going to even try to pronounce some of those attack styles, but I do appreciate the art there. I think it's pretty interesting. And, you know, and then the threat of the fire becomes more of an aspect again. It was, you know, it was kind of building up for a couple chapters, and it wasn't really much as a focus for the reader. And now we see the fire really start to take course.
Yeah. Yeah, we just see a lot of shots of people like going through the fire. I think we see everybody. Like we see Nami and Chopper first, and they're asking Zeus if he can do anything, but he can't because he's Zeus.
Yeah.
And poor Beppo can't even handle the heat. First commander of Law.
Yeah, well, One Piece theory, he's gonna go out there, taken outside of the Skull Dome, see the moon, you know, and he's gonna be unlocked to his final form, be healed up, and help fight Kaido on the rooftop, you know, because he's the only first commander that hasn't been up there. So,
yeah,
you heard it here first. So, and then we see my boy Sanji, and basically the whole Pleasure District is on fire right now. Also, and Appu still. It's interesting to see. You know, we're getting an update here. but we're still not given any indication of. We just know he's conscious. We just have no indication of what he's up to still, as a character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's just one of the numbers, but it looks like the numbers might turn on him because he's trying to use him to get through the door. But who knows at this point? Apu's just, he's like a whole nother party unto himself.
Right, and his purpose will probably be more revealed towards the very, very end of this life. And then we see Usopp and Hamlet, some funny dialogue there. And then we see Zoro. Yeah, he's officially out. He's not doing the Ryuma awakening. He's not defeating the Grim Reaper. He's passed out on Frankie's back.
Frankie says his life's in danger.
Yep. So, thankful that the BS pill that they gave from the Goat Doctor is showing some effects. I hope it stays there for the rest of the arc and hopefully until the next arc too. Because I hated that pill. I just thought it was bad writing. But anyway, now we're getting the Goat has arrived.
Oh my god!
The chapter is here.
Can I just say?
Go ahead.
Okay, I first saw the title of this chapter, and I was like, Oda has to be trolling us at this point. Because the amount of time that Raizo has gotten in this whole thing, even if it's a joke, it's like he's had more screen time than Frankie, than Denjiro, who's I think who has more personal stake in this. Denjiro hasn't even appeared in like 40 chapters or something. More
Killer.
I don't know. Killer had a pretty good thing, but Brook, like Chopper for sure. But I don't know. I don't know why Oda. I'm not complaining. It's just weird that Oda's using Raizo in this way, and like Raizo was set on fire for the longest time, and like he's showing more stamina than Ashura Doji. And,
right.
Well, when we first saw Ashura Doji, he was like, "Oh my gosh, he can cut Jack. He cut straight through him," and then he just got taken out by a bomb from Kanjuro. It's like I don't think that it's comparable, or like what's the word I'm looking for? It's consistency. There's not like consistency with the types of injuries that they're taking, because if Ashura Doji got taken out by a bomb and he's on like Jack level, even if he was wounded by Kaido, then Raizo should have been out by being set on fire for as long as he was, because he outlasted Fukurokuju.
Right, and I think he was already provided pretty good characterization just in that fight. I know in a silly way, but just willpower and fighting, and not working for Orochi, and being loyal and all that stuff. But now Oda just wants to bring back Lady Toki, like maybe building off that theme more as a character, right? Of just like, hey, I'm here. I want to help Lady Toki fulfill the will. And then there's like a parallel too, right? Because Lady Toki allegedly, probably, hopefully, burned to death in the temple, right? And so now he's gonna try to stop the fire to provide another person he cares about to be burned to death, in Onigashima, right? And I do love though Jinbei coming in clutch like this, because I don't think Jinbei's had an amazing showing in this arc so far. Even though he's used to be like the very helpful character. When it comes to Luffy. So this has been really awesome to see that. And I thought the art was really awesome with it too. So seeing these kind of two characters, which you really think, they're both honorable guys, maybe they have that connection, but they don't really have much in the way of an interaction aside from that. And so it was cool to see them incorporate together. It's not really like an ass pull per se, and I think it's a good way to solve a moderate threat to the Straw Hats too.
Yeah, I mean, with what Oda's making him do is good, but like I like the whole tie back with Zoe type thing. He's using
Sure.
Zoe's water to help with do this. And I do agree with the Jinbei thing. Like, he's doing something only he could do with the water and manipulating it. But I don't know. I just feel kind of trolled at because of Ryzen.
Oh, he's trolly. I'm not denying he's trolly. He's 100% trolly.
Yeah.
I think he, like I said, I think he rivals Marco, like in terms of screen time in this arc, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and actually, I did have one interesting thought with you brought up the Zeus and Nami thing, and Zeus can't help out because I was thinking the Straw Hats, and Nami could have been one to take out this fire too, but it looks like Oda wanted to make sure to say no. Zeus can't help in this situation for the weather stuff. So it's at least should be.
And I think that means that like Zeus is nerfed to a point because he's not connected with Big Mom. But
right.
I was gonna say Raizo's even had like a bigger showing than Kinemon, or who's like the leader.
Yeah. I would say most of this, maybe all the Scabbards. I don't know, I have to think about that.
Yeah. The only other ones would be like Neko Momoshi and Inuarashi. Because at least Neko's still up.
Yeah, right.
But
and yeah, so you know we get more like coverage of just like more of the Minx too. Good transition from the Zoe flashback, and then we see Killer laughing his ass off a little bit, so it seems like the threat is over there for the most part. So which is kind of interesting, and then we basically get a nice shot over Onigashima again, and we see another fight's going to resume again with Kaido and Luffy, and a quick check-in on Yamato and Momo too. So
yeah, well, we go back to the problem that we had with Momo before. Like, he has to create the flame clouds now because they're giving out from Kaido. Which is like showing that Kaido's once again being pushed to the limit.
And I'd say that's another feed for Kaido. I guess the clouds are wearing on his strength. So him lifting this island this whole time is requiring more stamina while fighting everybody at the same time. So just kind of another little asterisk when you get to the victory of this fight with Luffy and Kaido. Like, there is a lot of things holding back his fullest potential, I guess is another way to say. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to add that in there,
Yeah.
Keep it a little list, I guess.
But yeah, with the Luffy and Kaido thing, like, Luffy's holding lightning.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess that fight with Enel was really memorable to his being, I guess. But I don't know if there just happens to be lightning in the sky and he's just grabbing onto it, or if he's making it in the form of cockers in the lightning, or what have you. It makes sense, like, he could hold onto it, sure. I just don't know exactly where it's coming from. Maybe I'm missing something here.
I mean, it looks like it's coming from the sky. It's like natural lightning, but I mean, maybe he's like somehow insulating it with the rubber power. And like that way he's able to hold it, and once he lets go of it, it'll... I don't know. It's
digging the design though. The design's looking cooler and cooler though.
Yeah.
It's starting to warm on me. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird that I don't know. It's just weird that he's able to hold lightning, because it's like, okay, we can kind of think about we can kind of connect all this other stuff, but like lightning's completely out of the realm.
Yeah, I mean, like, it could, obviously, it's been established, the immunity part of it. He's immune to lightning with Skypiea. I guess it's another callback to Skypiea when you think about it, but
yeah.
It seems like a natural progression. I just the source of lightning I think is interesting, but it feels natural, and like I said, I like this powerful form because he's not completely just destroying Kaido at this point, you know? Because everybody was it last chapter or the chapter before? Oh, whoa, like he's stronger than Mihawk now, which he might be. I'm not, you know, stronger than Akainu now, and it's like okay,
all the power scalers.
Right, yeah, and now they're kind of like on equal grounding now. It's like, it seems that way. He doesn't seem particularly getting thrashed in any way, shape, or form. This isn't like Luffy versus Blue now. Like, this is still like a pretty even fight, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, so I was thinking a little bit about Luffy's powers and the new thing. And this might just be kind of out there. So I'm wondering if like maybe the Nika fruit is one of the if Nika himself, Joy Boy, has to do with the creation of the devil fruits because of like and that relating to like the trees and rubber coming from trees or something. I was just kind of thinking about that because why would Nika have the properties of rubber?
Right.
Unless he had something to do with like somehow connecting it back to the tree. There's like the Adam tree and the Eve tree. And I mean, I think I've read or heard a couple of theories where like those have to do with the creation of where the devil fruits came from.
And I think there's also the aspect of there's a high connection with Skypiea, which is large density of lightning and all that there too, and that's a huge theme in Skypiea. And so it is interesting how if you're someone from the sky or the god, right, then you would have an immunity to lightning, theoretically, right? And so it is interesting the first god that Luffy fights is someone he's completely immune to, which is NL, right? And then now he has like a godlike fruit, quote unquote, where he is, godlike power in a way too, right? So there's also that kind of connection there as well.
Yeah. Do we know of any devil fruits, like, what's like the earliest devil fruit that we know of, like record of them? Do you think they came up during the Void Century? Like, they started during then?
Yeah, it seems everything spawned there. You could think of more ancient stories, like I'd say Nolan, right, where you don't really see devil fruits displayed there either, you know? So
yeah.
I think maybe Brooks is the oldest flashback where we see a devil fruit play. I could be completely wrong with that, but
because that was like 100.
Yeah, like a century, I think.
He's like 90. I think he's 90 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like the oldest flashback I can think of. Yeah, because really the only other one that really goes back in the history is Nolan's.
That's over 400 years ago.
But we didn't really see any devil fruits at work in that flashback, though.
That's true too.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about all that stuff because
there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, because we're kind of getting into the end of the. I think we're getting toward the end of Onigashima, but I mean we've been kind of saying that for a couple months now.
Right. So all the fights have been resolved. The fire's been taken out. And then the bombs have been taken out. CP0 has been taken out with the exception of that one guy left. So Big Mom's gone. Unless Apu does some weird stuff. Or... Oh, wait, no. I guess we're going to have a chapter with Momo with the clouds pretty soon. You know? And I don't know. I think after this... past couple chapters, I've seen Yamato and Momo developing more and more of a friendship relationship right now. It's making me more think Momo and Yamato are gonna stay and Wano together. I don't know. I just think the bond's more focused on them, even with Luffy at this point. That's just kind of how I've been looking at it. Maybe like an advisor role or whatever, you know. So yeah. Oh wait, no. Well, I guess maybe they could even be a thing because Momo's grown up yet. Now we just haven't seen his human form yet.
You're shipping people now.
I'm not. I look. I will become a shipper if it means Yamato doesn't join the crew. So, but anyways, yeah. That was just kind of one little last note there. But yeah. Aside from that, you know, it was a good transition chapter. I hope Kaido's flashback is next week, but I know we have a break coming up, which is, you know, kind of sucky. But hopefully we can get out another video in that break area too.
So, I mean, do you think that Kaido's going to be, or do you think that Luffy's going to have to awakening Onigashima now to like make it bounce off of the flower capital, like turn it to rubber?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would undercut Momonosuke's thing, you know, because I think Momonosuke, he's supposed to save the people. He brings in the clouds and he safely brings it down in front of the people. And Momonosuke was a part of the one who saved his people, and then they recognize him as Shogun, right? So, and I kind of feel like if one Momo messing up here is bad for his character and for his future reign as king, and I think Luffy's kind of taken enough of the spotlight at this point, you know, like they could equally share in it, the victory, if you will.
Yeah, I like your version better than what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's just for Momo's character, that's the only reason. And then, like, you know, he turns into a human, and that's the first time we see him in human form, as an adult too, as he comes down.
Yeah.
With the island, right? So I think that could be a powerful scene, and I kind of feel like we've seen enough of the Luffy's awakening, right? You know, how powerful it is. I just think it would be a little superfluous at this point, and it would take away a character moment for Momo, but we'll see. You know, that's just kind of a thought there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, just leave a like, everyone, subscribe, and we'll hopefully have a video for you in this break week, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one.
See ya.